Wide open, another. Chad Johnson, touchdown.
Here comes the fourth quarter.
Tomlinson cuts back, and a San Diego touchdown.
On CBS.
Thank you, LT. LT with a vested interest in what happens here in the fourth and final quarter. And if this quarter's anything like the first three, it's going to be interesting. Last 5 possessions for San Diego, 4 have resulted in a touchdown, and the 5th was a one-play deal that led to halftime.
Well, if the fourth quarter is going to be anything like the 3 prior, fasten your seatbelt.
San Diego with a 3rd and goal at the Cincinnati 2. And here comes the crowd. Tomlinson outside, looking for running room, finds a touchdown, penalty marker down.
And it looked like they grabbed LT's face mask. I mentioned in the first half about this stiff arm that this guy's developed. Boy, it's hard enough to try to tackle a guy this powerful without getting this one right in the kisser. Here it comes right there as he clears it.
Grabbing the face mask. Number 40, defense. That penalty be enforced on the kickoff. Touchdown.
Medeo Williams gets a hold of it, and he doesn't let go. Look how long he held on to that thing, and it still wasn't enough to bring down Tomlinson. And that 15-yard penalty was going to make a difference on the kickoff.
3rd time he scored 3 touchdowns in a game this season. His 14th touchdown in the last 5 games. Kading's kick is good, and once again, it's a 3-point game.
Go ahead.
38-35, Bengals. That tells you how efficient the San Diego Chargers have been from late in the first half until now. 38-35, 14:55 to play, and there's the duo that has done a bunch of damage for Cincinnati today.
And I think the decision right now for Kading is, do I pooch one? Do I hit it up in the air and try to feather it down in there, or do I hit a knuckleball bouncer? It's getting to kick off from the 45. You certainly can't put too much on it or be in the end zone for a touchback.
He's going to give it everything he has.
Now, what was the use of that? Why wouldn't you try to at least get get him back inside the 20-yard line? I can't believe that was the design.
Be that as it may, and I don't have an awful lot of chance to use that phrase.
Be that as it may.
That's right. From the 20-yard line, that's where the Bengals will start.
It makes you sound so scholarly,
so mercurial. So here we go. Rudy Johnson, Jeremy Johnson in the backfield behind Carson Palmer, who's going to throw. And lost the football. Back at the 10-yard line, Chargers say they have it. Sean Phillips was in on Carson Palmer and recovered the fumble.
And he got the matchup that he wanted against the fullback, Jeremy Johnson. 31 there is going to try to make the block, and he just isn't up to it. A lot of offensive tackles in this league can't handle Sean Phillips, and the fullback certainly isn't going to be able to do it here. He turns his shoulder, and Palmer never sees Sean Phillips coming in. That is the matchup that Wade Phillips and the Chargers wanted. Their best, most instinctive pass rusher against the fullback.
And now, the first turnover of the day goes to the Chargers, who have 1st and goal just inside the 10. Here comes LT. Cuts it back all the way to the end zone for the touchdown. Four touchdowns on the day for LaDainian Tomlinson.
Well, any great running back has to have vision. And LaDainian Tomlinson, trying to go to the corner out of his peripheral vision, sees the hole back to the inside. Then the physical ability kicks in to make that kind of a cutback. And nobody in a Cincinnati uniform in a position to challenge it.
Extra point is up and good, and for the first time today, the San Diego Chargers are in the lead. These teams have converged on Paul Brown Stadium today to combine for 80 points. That's the most in an NFL game this season, and we still have 14:40 to play in regulation.
At this pace, 100 points is in jeopardy.
Kading's kick going to come down short of the end zone. From the 9-yard line, it's Chris Perry. And Perry won't reach the 25. He makes it out to about the 23. But how about the day LT has had today?
Well, if he's one of the guys on your fantasy team, you're a happy guy because he's had a busy day. This back in the first half, just off left tackle. He powers it into the end zone. Now he comes back. It's the exact same play for his second touchdown. Look at the stiff arm. Even being face masked, he still gets into the end zone. And yep, you can count him up. That's 4 for LaDainian Tomlinson, who's lighting it up.
So Palmer back to work now. And here's a double reverse. Here comes Chad Johnson. And Johnson gets really nothing on the play. Carlos Polk put a stop to it.
Well, it ended up where Carson Palmer was his lead blocker there at the point of attack, and I'm not quite sure that's what you're looking for. Sean Phillips almost destroyed the whole thing. He almost took the handoff. And Phillips, who missed the last 2 games because of a calf injury, appears to be all the way back.
2nd and 10. Rudy Johnson straight ahead. Running room, spins across the 35 out to about the 38-yard line and a first down.
Now Rudy looking at his own bench, trying to fire his guys up. The crowd, they need to get back into this thing here in Cincinnati.
A little bit stunned.
They're very much stunned. Well, after the lead they had in the first half, they didn't envision themselves at the beginning of the 4th quarter being behind. Who could have?
Rudy again. These last 2 plays, a severe slowing down of the action as we've seen it so far.
We've actually had 2 plays and no one scored. You're right. People will be nodding off all around America. It has been one big play after another this whole game.
Look at the total yards. Oh. On 2nd and 5. Here's Rudy Johnson. Johnson across midfield into San Diego territory to the 43 and a first down.
Well, and after having so much success throwing the ball, a very effective change of pace going to the running game. Outstanding block by Jeremy Johnson, the fullback. Then Eric Steinbach, the left guard, comes around and gets in on the action. And this is a nice change of pace by Cincinnati.
Remember, Rudy Johnson did not start this game. Held out by Coach Marvin Lewis, and he's tackled behind the line of scrimmage there by Carlos Polk. Missed a meeting yesterday. Alarm clock issues, we are told. And the fact is, Marvin Lewis said you're not starting and held him out for the first couple of series before he got to see any action since he's been in. Look at the yardage he's piled up. 2nd and 13. Blitz is picked up, throwing near side. That's incomplete. Batted down nicely by Quentin Jammer, the cornerback.
That ball took a while to get to T.J. Houshmandzadeh, and by the time it got there, Quentin Jammer was able to drive alongside without interfering with Houshmandzadeh and make contact with the football. That's the way you teach a corner to close and play the football without interfering with the receiver.
Now the Bengals face a 3rd and 13. They need to reach the 33 of the Chargers for a first down. Palmer with time over the middle, in and out of the hands of Houshmandzadeh.
Boy, there's something we haven't seen today. Receivers have been catching the ball all over the field. Very few dropped passes, and this one is going to qualify. T.J. Houshmandzadeh receives a perfectly thrown ball from Carson Palmer and just can't catch it.
Keenan McCardell deep for the punt. Larson, sky high, fair catch called for and made at the 11-yard line. 11:24 to play. Fourth quarter. San Diego behind all day. Gaining yards has not been a problem here today for either the Chargers or the Bengals. Look at those numbers. Now Scott Green has stepped in.
I think he had a timing issue with the back judge there. They reset the play clock.
Nick Hardwick is back at center.
That's amazing.
For San Diego. Here's LT. Tripped up. Forward to about the 12.
That is amazing that Hardwick is back in there after the way his right ankle got rolled underneath there. That is good for him. That's just remarkable. Take a look at that. He got that thing caught underneath, got it out at the last minute.
Of course, it's entirely possible to be as big as an apartment building by morning.
Well, he's back doing what he wants to do right now.
That's 2nd and 9. Rivers pump fake. And down he goes inside the 5. John Thornton, number 97.
Well, that's partly a coverage sack because Rivers can't find anywhere to go with the football. He's got a chance. He does the pump fake, comes back to the other side. Had plenty of time to get rid of it. That's not the end of the world. Better than the alternative.
3rd and 18. Rivers from his end zone throws to Tomlinson out of bounds at about the 12-yard line, and that won't be nearly enough for first down.
No, but it means that Cincinnati has to go an extra 8 or 9 or 10 yards if they're going to score. So not that this game has been fought over a yard or two. Yardage has been coming and going in this game in big chunks.
That's Kewan Ratliff back to receive the kick. Delta O'Neal injured his last time on the field. Ratliff set to return. Lost the ball and picked up by a teammate. Back to the 45 of the Chargers. Jonathan Joseph, the rookie cornerback, was there and got a fortuitous bounce.
Couldn't have worked out much better for the Bengals. A muff ends up being a lucky bounce.
Craig Gumbel along with Dan Deerdorf back at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, where the Bengals led 28-7 at halftime. Since then, the Chargers have outscored the Bengals 35-10 and lead at 42-38. Still just over 9.5 minutes to play. Carson Palmer back to the air. Throws. Incomplete.
That's interference.
Here come all the penalty markers you can possibly gather.
Well, that's not only interference, that's a horrendous cheap shot. That's how you hurt somebody badly. And T.J. Houshmandzadeh is down on the ground.
This is Marlon McCree with that hit.
Helmet to helmet. Launched himself at T.J. Houshmandzadeh. That is totally uncalled for.
And T.J. looking very dazed out there on the field.
And Marlon McCree justifiably penalized on the field, and I'll guarantee you will be separated with massive amounts of his personal income by the National Football League. This is headhunting at its very classic, helmet to helmet, turned himself into a weapon, launching himself at Houshmandzadeh. That's Bush League.
If you are just joining us, Marlon McCree there looking on after having been penalized for a hit. It has been a hugely offensive game on both sides today. LaDainian Tomlinson has tied a team record for San Diego with 4 rushing touchdowns. Chad Johnson has set a franchise record for the Bengals with 226 yards receiving. And both teams have piled up massive amounts of yardage. TJ Houshmandzadeh is on the field and now just getting up. This is what just happened. And it's good to see him up and walking. Here's what happened to Houshmandzadeh.
Running a crossing pattern left to right. Way before the ball gets there. He is hit by Marlon McCree. And look at Chad Johnson. Gives his former college teammate a little bus on the cheek, although I'm not sure TJ is aware of it. McCree left his feet and used his helmet as a weapon to hit Houshmandzadeh right in the head.
End result, Bengals first down at the 22. Here's Rudy Johnson. Rudy Johnson started this day on the bench, the result of missing a team meeting yesterday morning. Coming up on 9 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. On 2nd and 6, the give is to Johnson. Johnson cut down at the 23 by McCree. And we welcome those of you joining us now here at Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, where offensive fireworks have been the order of the day. Cincinnati led 28-7 at halftime. San Diego has come back to take a 42-38 lead. Bengals are threatening at the 24-yard line. It's 3rd and 6.
If they don't go any farther, they'd be looking at about a 41 to 42-yard field goal.
Palmer from the shotgun. Little shovel pass, and that's going to go nowhere as Chris Perry is knocked back at the line of scrimmage. Now we have a marker down in the secondary. And let's see what that's about.
Ineligible downfield. Number 53. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
That's the penalty on Eric Guychuk, the center.
Well, now the Bengals will try a field goal.
Shane Graham has a couple of 51-yarders to his credit this season, but he missed a 51-yarder earlier today. This one will be 44. Larson will hold. The kick is on its way, and it looks good, and it is. 7:48 to play in the fourth. Bengals are within 1 at 42-41.
Well, we've had a busy fourth quarter already up to this point, even though we've played just a little more than 7 minutes of it. Got started with LaDainian Tomlinson breaking the tackle, running through a face mask and scoring. But then Carson Palmer on the very next play has a turnover with a fumble that was followed by this touchdown run by LaDainian Tomlinson. And that is his 4th touchdown of the afternoon. And we are in an old-fashioned shootout. 83 points, 856 total yards so far in this ball game, and with 7:48 left to go, obviously more fireworks to come.
You made the association with the old AFL. You're kind of looking around for Golden Wheels Dubenian.
Elbert, that's exactly right. Jamal Williams over on the sideline for Marty's club. And now as Cincinnati gets ready to defend, we have seen it all. There's what happened, and the story of this game was the Bengals jumped out to this huge lead.
TJ Houshmandzadeh laid out on the field a few moments ago, still being looked at and smiling.
Well, that is a really good sign.
Michael Turner from the 3. Across the 25 to about the 29. Once things wind down here, it looks like TJ Houshmandzadeh is cracking jokes on the sideline now.
We're being told, what his return now is questionable.
On first down, Rivers throws it away from the near side. Tomlinson was over on this side. Mediu Williams was covering. 2nd and 10. The Chargers have scored touchdowns, Dan, on 6 of their last 8 drives.
Both teams have had issues when it comes to pressuring the quarterback. Both of these offensive lines have given their quarterbacks a lot of good looks, and the coverage in the respective secondaries has hardly been textbook. We have had a lot of wide open receivers all day for both teams.
On 2nd and 10, far side of the field, and that is complete to Antonio Gates, the tight end, and he's out of bounds.
Antonio was going so full speed towards the sidelines that even though he was close to the first down marker, there's no way that he could stop his momentum in time to turn upfield.
See, the Chargers have gone back to huddling up. For a while there, they had their offense clicking with a no-huddle offense and were able to produce a couple of consecutive touchdowns, and now we have a timeout on the field. San Diego uses its first timeout here in the second half and stops the clock with 7:20 to play in regulation.
Well, what Phillip Rivers and Cam Cameron there, the offensive coordinator, and you know what they've got going for them? It's called number 2-1. You've got a guy, a weapon like LaDainian Tomlinson that is such a gifted receiver, such a gifted runner. Not to mention the fact he's pretty darn good on the option pass as well. When you're trying to protect the lead, what a luxury it is to have a guy like Tomlinson, who you can see rushing wise hasn't exploded today. As a matter of fact, in the first half, he couldn't get loose at all. The Bengals really did a nice job of bottling him up.
Coming in today, he was the NFL leader in total yards from scrimmage. Carson Palmer looking for his chance to get back in. Let's see if he can here. 3rd and 2. The pitch. Oh, look at that move by Tomlinson to break free and out to midfield for a first down.
Imagine that they would give the ball to Tomlinson. Who would have thought that? What a move he puts out here. Is it Robert Geathers? Oh, now that's tough to ask a defensive end to try to make that play. It's tough to ask a linebacker or a corner or a strong safety, but to ask a defensive end, that's asking a lot. That's never going to happen.
LT gets a breather on the sideline. He's up to 94 yards rushing on the day. Michael Turner is in to replace him. Talk about a change of pace. Turner for about a yard or 2.
The thing about Michael Turner, though, number 33 right there, is this guy, he's got a 6.5 yards per carry rushing average. Michael Turner is a guy, it won't be for San Diego because Tomlinson plays here. He's going to play someplace else. Take a look at that. That's 6.5 yards, best they've ever had. This guy's going to make a lot of money in this league being somebody's primary running back. There's no way San Diego can keep them both.
2nd and 8. Rivers on the run and throws it away. That'll stop the clock with 6:08 to play. We get an update from James Brown in New York.
Hey,
JB.
Greg and Dan, the Ravens had trailed as much as 26-7 to the Tennessee Titans, but McNair bringing them back, hooking up with Derek Mason, both former Titans, 27-26 with 3:30 left in regulation. Baltimore nursing a 1-point lead. Greg and Dan.
James, thank you. Everybody here in Cincinnati watching that one closely, watching what happens here on 3rd and 8. LT back into the backfield. And this one blown dead before it got underway. Timeout is called by the Bengals. So that's their first timeout here in the second half.
It's their first charge timeout. It's a 30-second timeout.
You can see a little indecision on the part of the Bengals. They were lined up with just 3 down linemen, and they weren't sure how many guys they were going to bring on a rush. They've been coming with the blitz more often than not, and it's been handled, being picked up by Cincinnati. That time they were going to have a change in strategy and drop more into coverage, trying to confuse Rivers.
As you look at Carson Palmer's numbers, it bears repeating. The Bengals came in with a 2-game losing streak, losers of 4 of their last 5. Marvin Lewis, the head coach, trying to figure out a way to inspire his troops, walked into the first team meeting of the week with the statistics from the first 8 games of the season and set them on fire, burned them up, and said, it's a new day. 3rd and 8. Rivers on the move, throws sideline to Malcolm Floyd, and that is complete for a first down.
Malcolm Floyd has come up huge today for the Chargers. First of all, he is huge. He's 6'5". He had both feet down. Let's take one more look at it. Did he get them both down? Yes, he did, with possession of the football. Good call by the official on the sideline.
5 catches, 109 yards for Floyd today. And we get a timeout.
Are we going to get a timeout, or are we going to get a challenge?
Well,
is Marvin going to try to challenge whether or not that was a completed pass?
Cincinnati is challenging the ruling on the field that it was a completed pass.
Well, once again, the issue has to be control of the football, because he did get both feet down.
Looks to me like he's got firm control of that football. I don't think when there's possession right there, he gets his arm hit a little bit. I don't think the feet are an issue. And in my estimation, he's got firm control of the football as well. And keep in mind now, that was the ruling on the field. So Scott Green is going to have to see conclusive evidence to overturn it. 100% conclusive.
Now, if Marvin Lewis loses this, the Bengals are down to 1 timeout.
And that could be critical. Let's take one more look at it, but given the fact the ruling on the field is a completed pass, he's got firm control of that football with both feet down. You know, kind of lost in our being so analytical is what a really nice catch this is by Malcolm Floyd.
Malcolm Floyd came in today with a total of 90 yards receiving. He's chalked up 109.
Well, Eric Parker of San Diego had a neck injury, so he's been removed from the picture, and Floyd's really had to step up, and he has.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. The receiver had possession with both feet inbounds. Cincinnati is charged with a timeout.
So now the Bengals are down to 1 timeout remaining.
And Marvin took a calculated risk there in challenging that. It was such a critical play, such a big play, picking up the first down and moving the sticks. But boy, losing that timeout is damaging. And Phillip Rivers, his first year as a starter, this kid continues to look cool and calm.
Marty Schottenheimer admits he's better than I thought he'd be.
Exceeded expectations is Marty's catchphrase.
37-yard line. LaDainian Tomlinson to the 35. The clock continues to move. 5:25 to play.
And one of the Bengals' helmet came rolling off.
A field goal would be huge for San Diego here. It would boost them back to a 4-point lead and force the Bengals in the final moments if this game should come to it.
Well, they're not there yet because that's too far. You couldn't surrender the field position to try it from here. It'd be like 52 or 53 yards.
Rivers to throw. Far side of the field and incomplete. Keenan McCardell on that side of the field, and now it'll be 3rd and 8.
And that's the type of a pass at this stage of the game that stops the clock. And that is such a break for the Bengals. That sure flies in the face of, you know, everybody who talks about Marty Ball and all this and all that. That was not what you would think would be classic Marty Ball, just trying to squeeze the air out of the football. He's still putting it in his young quarterback's hands.
Marty Ball sure went to the air an awful lot today, didn't he? Play clock down to 3 to 2. He got the snap off. Under pressure over the middle, and that's complete to Gates. Gates to the 15, inside the 10, 1st and goal for San Diego.
Well, Marty Ball has been put into the freezer for a while. Successive passes when you're trying to kill the clock by Phillip Rivers, and look how close that came. Jonathan Joseph, the corner, almost look how close he comes to making that play on Antonio Gates. But as he normally does in one-on-one battles, Gates is the guy that comes away winning that battle with the football in his hands.
27-yard gain to the 8, 1st and goal. Tomlinson inside the 5 to the 1. And LaDainian Tomlinson, 103 yards on the day now. His 4 touchdowns tie for the franchise lead for San Diego.
And right now, San Diego is in no hurry to run a play. They are in no hurry to run this play. A touchdown and an extra point would make it an 8-point game, which means that's still a 1-possession game.
11th play of this drive. And all kinds of movement up front.
Oh, that's going to cost the Chargers 5 yards.
Let's see if this is the rookie Marcus McNeil.
False start. Offense. Number 73.
It is.
5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's exactly who it is. Talk about exceeding expectations. Marty can't say enough nice things about his rookie left tackle from Auburn. This guy has not played like a rookie, although that mistake right there is damaging.
I think it's the nicest compliment you can get from Marty Schottenheimer when he says about you, he gets it.
That's exactly what he said, and you're right.
2nd and goal. Tomlinson to the 5.
Well, right now, if I'm one of the Cincinnati Bengals and I go into the huddle, one of the things all 11 guys have to remind each other of is LaDainian Tomlinson is a threat to throw the football. Just because it's a handoff to Tomlinson doesn't guarantee that it's a running play. It's a defensive reminder. You got to tell everybody in there, be alert.
He's rushed for 16 touchdowns this year, caught 2 TD passes, and thrown 1. Rivers pulls it down, gonna run, looking now, pitches for the touchdown to Brandon Manumaleuna.
How about Phillip Rivers? How How about Phillip Rivers not crossing the line of scrimmage and dumping that little thing off to Brandon Manamaliuna? How do you defend that? And that is one disgusted guy, Marvin Lewis, turning and walking away.
That's a career-high third touchdown pass of the day for Phillip Rivers. Acadian's extra point is good. And with 2:29 to play in the fourth, San Diego stretches its lead to 49-41.
Phillip Rivers takes a look. Initially, good protection. He leaves the pocket on his own. He's never flushed from the pocket. And then that thing right there. We talked earlier about Manamaliuna having soft hand. Keep in mind, this guy weighs 300 pounds now. He's a load. He's not the primary receiver. He just keeps running. And that was all Phillip Rivers. All Phillip Rivers. And he takes a big hit at the end of it. And that is hardly a textbook throw, but that is a TD.
Marvin Lewis saw the promise of so much today and a huge early advantage. And many of the Bengal faithful.
Well, I don't know why anybody in their right mind would be leaving this stadium. A touchdown and a two-point conversion from tying up the game. And when you've already scored 41, what would lead you to believe that you couldn't score a few more?
This is Rivers in the second half alone.
Well, Carson Palmer had close to the perfect first half. He was, what, 20 of 23, I believe. And now Phillip Rivers, he chimes in the second half.
From the 13, this is Chris Perry. 25, sideline and out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. There's Deltha O'Neal looking on from the sideline, and Carson Palmer back on stage. He has had his mechanics analyzed all week. Everyone and his uncle have voiced an opinion as to how his recovery from last year's knee injury is going. And he's thrown the ball well. Now he finds himself down 8 points. 2:23 to play and one timeout. Pulls it down now over the middle, and that's complete. Chris Henry, and Henry to midfield for a first down.
Well, one thing that Carson Palmer is missing is TJ Houshmandzadeh, who unfortunately is on the Cincinnati bench. He's not on the field. And that is a huge loss for the Bengals at a critical time.
And we hit the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in Cincinnati. We'll be back. Carson Palmer taking stock of the San Diego defense. He's thrown for 406 yards today. That's his second half.
And that one lost fumble was really critical as it led to an immediate LaDainian Tomlinson touchdown for the Chargers.
From the 49-yard line, first down, Bengals. Chad Johnson inside the 30, first down.
With only one timeout remaining, Carson Palmer's really trying to get his team to hustle to the line.
22-yard pickup on the play. Palmer throws near side. That's complete to Reggie Kelly, and he's barreled out of bounds at about the 27.
Boy, Kelly took a big hit at the end of that play.
These two teams have combined for 90 points today. That's the most in an NFL game since November of '04, when Cincinnati and Cleveland combined for 106 in this same stadium.
And you know right now, Bob Bratkowski, the offensive coordinator for Cincinnati, has got to be chewing around a two-point conversion play.
Palmer complete to Johnson. Johnson to the 15 and a first down. Clock continues to move, coming up on a minute 20. What a day Chad Johnson has had.
Keep in mind, Cincinnati operates out of the no huddle anyway, so this is no big deal for them.
Palmer under pressure, incomplete, and hit from behind, and he goes down at the 20. 2nd and 10. And 1:05 to play.
260 yards for Chad Johnson, almost 24 yards a catch, a pair of touchdowns. And needless to say, with him at the 15-yard line, he may not be done. He may not be done yet.
2nd and 10. Palmer with all kinds of time, throws for the end zone, incomplete. Chris Henry had it and dropped it.
Oh, Carson did what Phillip Rivers did on the last possession for San Diego. His movement buys him time. Again, not really flushed too badly from the pocket, and on the move delivers it right to Chris Henry. Take a look at that from behind. Chris Henry felt the defender coming from the other direction, kind of pulled up a little short, tried to hand catch it instead of body catch it, and dropped it.
3rd and 10. Palmer flips it out here to Kenny Watson, and Watson dragged down at about the 15-yard line. The timeout is called. The Bengals use their final timeout to stop the clock with 40 seconds to play.
Oh, now that was a good open field tackle right there. Drayton Florence really put a good one-on-one tackle on, and they needed it. And now Marvin realizes the gravity of this next play.
Chad Johnson reiterating to us yesterday that his explosion at the end of last week was not a self-serving one. He doesn't care if he makes no catches and the team wins. He has had an outstanding day today, but the Bengals are on the short end of the scoreboard.
You wouldn't think, if you're one of the San Diego Chargers, after you hang 49 on the scoreboard, that you're over on your sideline sweating out this play by the Cincinnati Bengals. That's the kind of day that it has been.
They need the 5-yard line for a first down.
And again, without Houshmandzadeh, that's a hole in their attack.
Palmer throws, incomplete. Incomplete in the end zone, and the ball goes over to San Diego on downs. And it puts the Chargers in prime position to stretch their winning streak to 3, and the Bengals losing streak going to 3.
And this has been one of the most entertaining football games any of you have seen in a long time. The ball just really sails and takes off on Carson Palmer, trying to get it down there to Glenn Holt, and that ball just got away from him. And Marty Schottenheimer has to be a little stunned. It's not every day you give up 41 and win.
And the man who leads all active NFL coaches in victories is going to chalk up another one here in Cincinnati today. LaDainian Tomlinson, 4 touchdowns for the Chargers today.
Well, Greg, we came into this game watching the stars, Tomlinson and the Johnsons and Palmer, and they all delivered today. They really delivered. This was a showcase for the offensive play of these stars in the NFL.
What a game in Cincinnati. San Diego down 21 at halftime. It's the biggest comeback in the Chargers franchise history. For Dan Deerdorf, Greg Gumbel, so long from Cincinnati. The Chargers ring up a 49-41 win. After this, we'll send you to New York and James Brown. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.